We as ballroom dance competitors almost always are our own worst self-critic. And guys, this includes professional level dancers. In fact, over the years, even as an amateur dancer, I've outplaced couples reliably that I'm like, well, they're better than me. They look better than me. They're better trained than me. They're more talented than me. How'd that happen? And this is kind of human nature. But compared to other industries, friends, I've seen more overinflated, huge egos. And let's break that down today. So I've seen this both in the competitive circuit world and in the social dance world. And as I'm sure you've all seen in that social dance world, the ones that have the biggest egos, I think they're God's gift to dancing. It's like driving a tank, dancing with those follows, and it's like being dragged around the floor in a choke chain collar by those leads who I think they're all that in a bag of chips. I've also seen it rear its ugly head in the teaching world, where there was a pro in town, who, peddling themselves as the top, ballroom dance teacher, and they never even competed in ballroom. They would give like their bronze, international standard pro-am students lock steps. Like, this isn't even a syllabus step. So cray to me. And it's sad, and honestly, guys, in my experience, it has almost always been competitors in the international Latin category, the pro international Latin category specifically. Now, I am just one ballroom dancer in a world of ballroom dancers. It's just what I've seen in my area. I would love to hear your experience in your area of the country and your area of the world. I'm broadcasting to you from the Northwest area of the United States. So I understand, there are many different experiences, and we all benefit from hearing your stories. Anyway, number two, I've seen this take place in terms of the one partner thinking they're exponentially better than the other partner. I've seen this in students, though this tends to be at the beginning level, where it's, again, I'm painting with a broad brush here, but it tends to be the wife who thinks, because she took ballet dancing, that now I need to focus on her husband because he can't lead. And she's just as bad as he is, but totally arrogant and unwilling to accept feedback. And I've even had wives, and it's so offensive to me, call me or text me on the sly, and well, don't tell so-and-so I said this, but you need to work with him on blah, 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 blah. Honestly, guys, I don't waste my time with this type of couple. It just irritates me. I don't like big egos. I just want to dance and have everyone be the best they can be. And regardless of how good you are, there's more you can achieve. That's kind of the excitement and what makes dance sport so entertaining and challenging. When you continue improving yourself. And follows, you are not a potted plant. There are things you can do to help your lead. Likewise, usually I've seen it as the lead in the competitive community where they think they are better than their follow. And sadly, I've seen this kind of net result in verbally and even physically abusive dance partnerships. Again, this is not the majority of them. The vast majority of dancers, are their own worst self-critic, and they are kind people. But I have seen this rear its ugly head. And I can't think of another workplace where you would see someone, I've heard it called aggressively letting go. No, they're throwing their partner down to the floor. And it's happened to me too, guys, where they literally shove you on the floor. That would never happen in a workplace. You go to jail for that. So is what it is. It's ugly, but I'm here to share with you the whole truth of what goes on, in kind of the dark, seedy side of the ballroom dance world, not just the joyful parts. The vast majority are joyful parts. Okay, next, I have seen it take place in a group class, but once was more than enough for me. I was teaching, it was for a USA dance, like a public ballroom dance hosted by a nonprofit. They used to hold monthly dances in our town. And one of these students there literally screamed out in the middle of the class. I was teaching quick step, and they were like, "That's not how you do it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm trying to be nice. I'm like, "Oh, well, there's more artistically, it's dance. There's more than one way we can do things. This is what, my coaches have taught me." Okay, guys, this nugget was trying to yell at me that all steps and quick step should be taken inside of partner. Like, what crack was he on? And so after yelling and correcting me, Lord knows how many times, well, my teacher teaches it this way. Now, mind you, I know who this guy's pro is. The dude can't dance his way out of a paper bag in ballroom. He's only done Latin. But anyway, out of respect for that, teacher, I don't want to embarrass anyone. I was just like, it is an art and we have freedom in art, but oh my Lord, love a duck. If you're in a class, don't correct your teacher. If you don't like what they're saying, A, just look it up in an ISTD book later. And B, keep it to yourself. Just step out of the lesson if you don't like it. Okay. And the biggest egos I've personally seen, and I have talked about this behind the scenes with other pro dancers, are definitely those Latin pros. And I've even heard them say things like, "You are nobody." Like, okay, dude. And here's the reality. As professional dancers, you know what? There is a point where you are limited by your body and you have to retire. It doesn't make your information obsolete. As a matter of fact, the longer you teach, the more skilled a teacher you become. And after you retire from dance sport, there's a whole new game you got to start, which is learning to be a skilled teacher and to cultivate good students. Because you know what, guys, as a dancer, there's always someone fresher coming up those competitive ranks and joining those teaching ranks. You know what? You got to play a whole different set of cards to compete against these people. Secondly, there's always, I'll say, younger, more beautiful people coming into that teaching circuit who are, again, just fresher off that comp circuit. And so, once you start teaching, you know what? You can ride that pony temporarily. I even know someone who got huge boob implants because she's like, well, then they'll just want to be close to me. But you know what, guys? You can't ride that pony forever. And so honestly, guys, I have never seen a seasoned, experienced professional, a successful teacher who has that big ego any longer. But again, and I would say my friends who I've talked to privately about this would concur with me. It's often in that pro Latin community when they kind of first retire off the competitive circuit. So anyway, if you have a overinflated ego ballroom dance story, hey, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. And again, I am painting with a broad brush here. I am but one dancer in the world of ballroom dance. So I enjoy hearing your stories from your area of the world just as much as anyone else might enjoy them. So thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you first thing tomorrow morning with all things ballroom dance, and I'm going to share some more fun stories with you. Okay, have a wonderful day. Happy dancing, guys.